Well, I thought I would do a review of Fredric Brown's Pie in the Sky. And this is a great short story that I read probably the first time when I was 10, 11 years old. And it had a real effect on me. I really enjoyed it. It was quite entertaining. And Fredric Brown clearly was a well-read author. Fredric Brown, a highly regarded Golden Age author. He also wrote Arena and a lot of other stories. You can find those many different places. And he is well known for his sarcastic, witty, and punchline SF. And this story was very famous from the time it was published for those reasons. Now I have it in several different formats, some anthologies and things, but today I'm going to use the best of Fredric Brown here as the vehicle for Pie in the Sky. The best of Fredric Brown was edited by Robert Bloch. Apparently Nelson Doubleday published this in 1976. I had thought it was a Del Rey, but it is not. But Pie in the Sky is in here with a whole bunch of his best stories. And they are all pretty well known. And he really writes well. Some of his stories can be pretty dark, but most of them are just funny. And Pie in the Sky appears on page 86, even though it's not marked here. And there it is. So at any rate, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was great. The plot revolves around Roger Phlutter, a junior astronomer working at an observatory, where he discovers an anomaly in the movement of Pollux, which is a star, and in astronomical terms, stars don't appear to move very quickly, like almost not at all in our lifetimes. Through the use of a blink microscope that allows for comparisons of sky sections to look for new discoveries. Brown does provide a much more detailed description of a blink microscope, and a blink microscope is what Clyde Tombaugh used to discover Pluto. Well, that's another story, and we won't go into that here. So Roger reports this anomaly, and this is pretty much just blown off by his superiors. So Roger decides, well, if they're not concerned, he's not concerned. So he calls his girlfriend, Elsie, and later on in the story, Elsie makes some really intelligent remarks as everyone on Earth begins to notice all of the brightest stars in the sky are moving toward a central location, it appears. And they're doing it at the same speed, which is completely impossible because no star is exactly the same distance from the Earth. Some of them are hundreds and even thousands of light years away. Some of them are only 4 or 5 light years away. So their relative motion would be very difficult to account for. That would be the same speed. So at any rate, Brown goes into a lot of astronomy here. It's not onerous or anything. It's really interesting, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. And so they're noticing all this, and we meet some other characters, notably Professor Hale, who attempts to calm the population with a radio broadcast of astronomical and philosophical double talk, which actually is meaningless, and he's just trying to calm everybody down. And he's also a very interesting character in the story, and makes some very funny observations along the way. We also have other characters involved. There's a ship at sea, and of course they're using a sextant and trying to navigate by the stars. And the stars are moving, and that causes a lot of trouble. So Roger, Elsie, and all these folks are trying to actually investigate this and come up with an explanation for it. And at the end, there is a very Fredric Brown resolution. And I enjoyed the story. I think if you have never read it, you would really get a charge out of it as well. And this story, of course, and all of science fiction, really stimulated my interest in astronomy. And I bought my first telescope when I was 12 years old with paper route money. This is a very different type of telescope. This is a refractor with ED glass and a go-to mount, and I have taken quite a few photos with this over the last 8-9 years. And actually, this is a replacement telescope. I'd used the other one so long and been outside so much that the objective coatings had to be replaced, and that cost just as much as getting another telescope. So every time I read this story, I'm reminded of my first astronomy book, which I bought in 1965, and it's a golden guide from St. Martin's Press, and it's called The Sky Observer's Guide. And this is a pretty basic book on astronomy, and of course, technology has changed drastically in the years since this was published. I can take pictures nearly as complete as the greatest astronomy observatories in the world just 60 years ago through the use of technology and stacking software. Now, this is a replacement book from, this one was published in 1987, and I believe this is the last revision. Mine from 1965 got chewed up by a dog in about 1979. So I lost that one, but this, I was able to come up with a replacement for it within a few years. So that's what I have for now. I will put in my post section some of the photographs I've taken of Mars and Jupiter, Saturn. I have some moon photos and things. And I hope to do that again this summer. That's all I have for now, and I hope everybody reads this. If you've never read it, it is really quite amusing and really revealing about certain things that Fredric Brown wants to bring to your attention. That's it for me. Have a great day.